As we get into your brand new tour and your current album, The Journey, I wanted to ask, where did you meet your current bandmates, and tell me a little bit about them and what you feel kind of each bring to the table for your band.
Well, first of all, there are Gianluca Pellerito on drums and Riccardo Oliva on bass. And I first knew Riccardo, the bass player, and we knew each other from, I think, 2016 or something. So they are both Sicilians, but they moved to Milan. They both moved to Milan some years ago. But we know each other from a long time, especially with Riccardo. My first trio project was actually with Riccardo on the bass, and it was called Snips. We were playing a lot of jazz fusion covers. We just put them on YouTube, but it was more like a cover project rather than an original project. And then, of course, I came to know Gianluca thanks to Riccardo. And Gianluca is also from Palermo, but we came to know each other in Milan. And I started playing with them, I think, back in 2023. We started playing together in September 2023. And we played a lot of gigs together. I mean, we have a sort of musical knowledge that we share. We like a lot of the same things, let's say, but we sure have some differences as well. And Riccardo is also very good at producing music. He's a master of Ableton, and is very nerd about it, let's say. I'm more on the musician side. I just want to play guitar, and if I have to record something, I don't want to know anything. I just want to play, and you think about the recording. Riccardo is more like he knows the whole process of it. And that's why I like to play with him. He's not only a bass player, he takes care of a lot of different stuff during the tour. And plus, he's, of course, an exceptional player as well. Gianluca is for sure one of the best drummers I know, technically speaking. He has no limits. And I really like to play with him because he interacts with us all the time. He just doesn't do the groove, he does the job, of course, but he interacts with us in a way that every concert feels different. And I'm a very big fan of improvise a lot on the stage because I want that every concert needs to be unique, especially because we are improvising. And I'm not a big fan of showing the record as it is, the CD. It needs to have something changing on the live session. So every concert has its unique way of being, so there's more. I mean, what's the point of going to a concert if it sounds exactly like the CD?
Yeah.
So
No,
that's why so that's why I try to play always with people that adds a little bit of like new things every time on every concert. Yeah.
Well, and that made me want to ask a question. The Journey is such a fantastic album, so I was kind of curious what the writing process is like, as far as like what comes first, what comes to you first. Is it a note, a riff, an instrument combination, or some sort of improvisation, and then you build around it? What is that process like? Because for somebody as improvisational as you, how do you go about capturing that in your recordings, or are you even trying to?
Well, the compositional process changed over time. Like right now, because the guys are staying in Milan, I like to have everything ready when they go in the studio in my house, because I have a studio in Palermo. And so I like to write everything, like the whole song alone, and then do some little arrangements when they arrive. Back when the first album came out, I did some work with two other guys. I had another trio before Gianluca and Riccardo, and they are called Giuseppe Bruno and Stefano India. And these two guys are the guys you hear the most on the first one. And because these two guys are living in Palermo, we were seeing each other more. So we came up with some arrangements of the song together. Meanwhile, with this first album, I came up, let's say, with the whole song along, and then some little arrangement thing. I did it basically everything before they come in the studio. Let's say. So it's a different process. I should say everything starts if I have something that surprises me while I'm improvising. So it always starts with improvisation. But there's not a fixed process, let's say. It's not always the same. It changes on every song. And I prefer sometimes to check if the song works with classical guitar. So usually if the song works just with the classical guitar, like a chord melody or something, it is usually a good song. And then I can add some other guitars as well. But if it works just with one instrument, that means that it's a good song.
When do ideas normally come to you? Do they come to you in the moment while you're actually improvising and playing? I know a lot of people say some of their ideas come to them like while they're showering or driving in their car or waking up in the morning. Is it that kind of thing, or is it in the moment as you're or do they come to you at all different times?
No, honestly, they come with the guitar in my hands. I sometimes have some ideas alone, but when I grab my guitar, they don't sound good. So I prefer to check my ideas with the guitar in my hands. And even if I have an idea without the guitar in my hands, when I grab the guitar, it changes. So I prefer to write with my instrument always in my hand. Yeah.
So I know you've recorded songs before for YouTube and things like that, but finally sitting in the studio, recording your debut album, I mean, it had to be special. Did it feel like a milestone for you?
Yeah, it feels very rewarding, let's say, and I'm composing way more than before. Goes back before the first album, and even after the first album, I have to say, I was really concentrated on playing the instrument. And composing was just something that, okay, if I have a really good idea, I do it. Now I'm concentrating more on being more proficient on the compositional side of things. Just because I think it's more rewarding. I feel like if I write a song, I waste less time than just studying the instrument, you know? Not necessarily because you need to write songs for the label and all of that. I don't have any restrictions, actually. I don't have any of this kind of restrictions. But it feels like the more I write and the more I really know more about myself, musically speaking, like I understand more the things I like about it, the more I write songs. And the less you write, the less the less you have an idea about the things you really like about music. So that's why I'm searching. I'm still searching. It's always an endless search for the things that excite me the most about music.
I can only imagine what it must have felt like recording and to kind of look up, perhaps smile at your dad because he's featured on the album. I mean, that had to be special. Do you have a favorite memory from the recording of that album?
Well, one of my favorite memories was back when I recorded Falcon Flight. And I think it's one of my favorite tunes from the album. My father is not really the type of guy that do a lot of compliments, let's say. But when he first heard the song, he came to the studio, he heard the whole tune, and he just said, sounds very good. And that was one of my, I think, maybe the best moment I had. And then, of course, recording together with my father is always fun. But that phrase, like, sounds very good, was really meaningful to me because it was one of my first original compositions, let's say. So I knew, okay, if he likes it, maybe I'm on the right path. I have to say, I really like the the musical abilities that my father has. So whenever he speaks about music, I'm always listening very carefully because he's not talking a lot, but whenever he talks, it's always inspiring.
Well, and I can tell you, I've seen videos of you guys playing together. I remember one I saw was at NAMM, and you can see in his eyes. I mean, as a father myself, and my son's a musician, you can see in his eyes that he's proud. I mean, you can just tell by the look when he looks over and he sees you playing. You can tell that just the little bit of the grin. You can tell. So you know the guy's proud.